Hello, everyone. Alexia Kapralos here from the Heavy Press, sitting with Mayday Parade. Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm great. So currently we are right in front of the Danforth Music Hall in the tour bus, and we're on Greek Town. So after your show, are you guys thinking of grabbing some delicious Greek food?
We should. I didn't really realize that we were in Greektown until you guys came on and told us. But that sounds amazing for after show. So maybe we'll make that happen. Yeah.
What's the thing to get?
Gyro or souvlaki. It's good stuff. But yeah, without further ado, let's talk about your new album. So Black Lines just came out at the beginning of this month. Can you tell us what's different about this album from any other previous albums that you guys have released?
Well, I'd say it's quite a bit different. That was kind of the whole idea with the album, is we wanted it to feel separate from anything we had done before, because we felt like we were starting to repeat ourselves. And so that was, the idea was to, one, go with a new producer and kind of take us out of our comfort zone, and to maybe keep things a little more raw and a little more rock with this album. So yeah, it's a little bit of a departure, I suppose, from what we've done in the past, but I think it feels really good, and I'm very happy with it. Yeah.
Would you like to add anything?
What he said, yeah.
Okay, so what would you say is your favorite song on the album, and why?
It's tough to pick. It's been for a little bit. It's been the track 10. It's called Until You're Big Enough, and it's hard to really say why. I just that one feels really good to me, and we've been playing it live, not every night on this tour, but every other night or so, and it's really fun to play live as well. So yeah.
I don't remember the names of our songs. Track 2.
Just Out of Reach.
Yeah, that one. Just Out of Reach. It's one of my favorite ones to play.
Do you guys have any new muses or inspirations for this album?
Well, it's funny because I feel like more than anything, it's kind of like going back to, like, we all grew up and listened to a lot of 90s like alternative rock and rock music. So that was like what really influenced us when we were like really young, and like young teenagers. And then we kind of, around like 14, 15 started getting into bands like New Found Glory and Saves the Day, Jimmy Eat World, Brand New, Take Back Sunday, all of that, like pop punk, whatever. And I feel like when we started the band, that's what we kind of wanted to emulate in a way, and we wanted to be a band like that. And then now it's almost like I feel like a lot of the new album seems like it's more influenced by that like 90s rock that we listened to when we were younger, like growing up, I'd say, So it's not really new necessarily, but it's like, I guess, this different, yeah.
Yeah.
So on this album, you have a special guest vocalist, all right, on the first track from Real Friends. Can you tell us about Dan's role on the album?
Yeah, well, we've thrown around the idea of having like a guest vocalist on an album track for a while, and it just usually doesn't work out, but I think it all kind of just fell into place. We've been friends with them for a long time, or for about 3 years, and we knew the tour was happening, and so I just one day I was like, dang, that'd be so cool if Dan could sing on this song, and then he could come out and do it every night on the tour, and I hit him up about it, and he was down. They had a day off in New York at the same time we were up there recording, so it all just kind of fell into place, and I think it's cool. It's really fun whenever he comes out and does it. I used to love seeing stuff like that, going to shows and seeing any kind of like collaboration between the bands, and just kind of show them that they're buds up there, is really neat. So.
Just killing it.
I just chatter. I talk away. Sorry. Yeah.
So, again, for this album and your performances, what was your favorite song off of this album to play live?
Probably the first one. One of them will destroy the other, just because it's like super energetic, and it's the first song we play, so like it just kind of like fires right into it, and I don't know, it feels good.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. Just because it is really energetic. And then Dan comes out, and it's the suspense and all this kind of stuff. And, it's pretty cool.
Can you tell us, and fans who don't know, about the story about how you guys became friends with Real Friends with Real Friends?
Yeah, well, it was right here in Toronto, actually. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, that's Riot Fest in Toronto, I guess about 3 years ago. And I knew of them before that. Our merch guy, Tyler, actually, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, was like, dude, you gotta check out this band, Real Friends, they're so good. So I kind of like knew of their music, and then of course they had just signed to Fearless. And we, were part of Fearless and love them. So it all just kind of fell into place. And we met them at that show, and they were great dudes. And we've done, Warped Tour with them, Soundwave with them. So we've gotten a chance to know them pretty well throughout the years.
It's all good. Do you guys have any other bands that you would like to collaborate with in the future?
Absolutely. I mean, gosh, it's tough to say. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Paris. We did our tour last fall with them, and they're so good, and Lynn's voice is so good that I think it'd be cool to maybe do something with them.
That is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's tough to say, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, so this year, Mayday Parade celebrates their 10th anniversary. How do you guys feel that you've evolved since that very first release of your EP?
Well, I don't know. I feel like we have a much better sense of what we want to do and who we are and what the band is and whatnot. And it's in the early days, especially whenever everything's being kind of like it's moving real fast, and you're signed to a label for the first time, and then you're doing a full-length album, and everything is just like coming at you, and you don't really know how to handle all of it. Whereas now it's kind of just become normal, and it's our life and it's our job, and we're not gonna I feel like in the past we've let ourselves be in a position where we could be taken advantage of, and we know not to do that anymore. And I don't know, we're just more mature, I guess, like everybody would be after 10 years, and
We just figured it out.
Yeah, for sure.
We don't let people run over us. We kind of do what we want to do, and we're here to listen, but ultimately, we want to do what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say that you guys feel like veterans in the industry by now, or still kind of like really young in the industry?
Somewhere in between, I guess. Because when I, to me, when I think of veterans, at least especially in our scene, I think of Taking Back Sunday or Jimmy Eat World or Brand New or bands like that. But we're obviously not a new band either, so we're middle aged. I don't know, somewhere in there, somewhere in the middle.
Metaphorically middle-aged.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, are you guys excited for your show tonight?
Yeah. Toronto is always just one of the best shows, so it's gonna be really cool. I'm very excited about it.
Stoked.
Well, thank you so much. This has been very fun. And that was Mayday Parade, and this is The Heavy Press.